You're listening to the LSG Sports Network, the authority on Texas high school football. Welcome to the Texas High School Football Coaches Show on Lone Star Gridiron. I'm Chris Daly, and it's my belief that the men that make up the fraternity of Texas high school football coaches are much more than a bunch of thick-necked guys with whistles. They do so much more than teach technique and the X's and O's of football. They take young boys and change them into young men of character. They get kids to believe in themselves, to trust others, and to put others ahead of themselves. Texas high school football coaches are unique in how they impact the lives of these athletes as well as the generations those kids touch. In this show, I sit down with a different Texas high school football coach each time and learn about them. Not their record, not their on-field accomplishments, but who they are and what they believe and what it means to be part of the greatest sport in the greatest state. Welcome back to the Texas High School Football Coaches Show, Season 6, Episode 5. Today, I talk with a former national champion UT player, as well as one of the winningest coaches in Texas high school football during the 90s. We're talking multiple state championships. Yes, we will be talking with Alan Weddell right after this. Hey, if you're involved in your team's fundraising, get this. I was recently introduced to Success Fund, and I was blown away by what it can do. If you're not already using Success Fund to manage your fundraising, you'll really want to check this out. SuccessFund.com. That's Success, F-U-N-D.com. It's not a specific fundraiser, no. Now, Success Fund is a platform with free tools that makes it easy to run whatever fundraiser you're already planning. Sponsorships, donations, camps, clinics, whatever it is. Success Fund makes it 10 times easier. Plus, schools use it to accept Venmo, which is otherwise not an option. Because so many thousands of fundraisers have been through their system, these guys know what works and what doesn't. And they just put out a free high school football fundraising guide. Yeah, you can go and download the guide for free at successfund.com/football. It takes 2 seconds to grab it. Again, you want to be sure to check these guys out. But at the very least, go grab this free football fundraising guide at successfund.com/football.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Power Plus Mouth Guard. What is that? Well, it's a mouth guard that helps you perform better and also increases your strength, your balance, your stamina, reduces the G-forces, which are found in concussions. And the way it does that is it aligns your jaw properly. So this mouthpiece not only protects you, but it's going to help you breathe better. And that's really what it comes down to. It puts your airways in a better alignment. And so that helps you breathe better. That helps you have better balance, helps you have better stamina, the more oxygen getting to your brain, the more oxygen getting to your muscles, and that's where this mouth guard can help you. So you can check them out online. Just go to powerplusmouthguard.com. All you have to do is hit / and shop, and they'll show you all the mouthpieces they have. But check them out and check out the website. Dr. Michael Hutchinson is the one who has designed this new technology, and I really do think it is very forward-thinking in helping reduce concussions, in helping you be more alert late in the game when you're going to be tired, your muscles are tired, lack of oxygen is starting to affect you. This mouth guard will help you in getting more oxygen to you. So check them out, powerplusmouthguard.com.
All right, everybody join me in welcoming Coach Alan Weddell to the show. Coach, how are things going today?
Things are going great. It's a great day. Hey, be alive. Great gift.
I love it. So in this show, what we do is we kind of take a trip back in time, and I start out young. Talk to me about when you discovered the game of football.
I grew up in Brazosport Independent School District, which is the community of Lake Jackson, Freeport include, that put a lot of emphasis on extracurricular activities. My parents, the community knew the importance of a well-rounded education, so I got into athletics early, as most of my friends did. The camaraderie and the discipline and those type of things helped me not only on the athletic field, but also in the classroom. I participated in track and baseball and basketball and golf and as many things as I could. I had a tremendous amount of great coaches when I was young in junior high and high school that motivated me, and then gave me an opportunity to expand my knowledge and thrill of staying with the game. And when my career playing the game was over, I knew I wanted to continue the game and bring the love of the game to the athletics and try to make an impact on the lives of kids rather than just an impression.
Right on. And so talk about your playing career as it relates to high school. How did you do there at Brazos Porter? How did the team do?
Well, I started. I was a two-year Letterman both-way starter back in high school. We lost 2 games in my 2 years on the varsity. Unfortunately, back then they only took one team to the playoffs, the district champs, and the one game we lost each year was to the district champs. And each game was a one-score game. So we were ranked the top 5 in the state my junior year when we got beat. And the Harris Poll, I think, had us number 1, and the AP had us number 2 when we got beat my senior year in a great game against Galveston Balls. So it was a awesome experience. High school football was something I'll remember forever. The friends and the people that I met. It was just one game short of continuing on and bring home championship, which we were able to do later. So from there, I was able to get scholarship at the University of Texas.
Nice. So talk to me about the recruiting process, how you got, approached by UT, and did other people approach you? How'd that work out? Yeah.
Of course, back in those days, there wasn't huddle and all that kind of stuff. The coaches had to get tapes out to people, so it was a slower process. It really didn't start your senior year because there weren't any, quote, summer camps and all that kind of stuff for people to see you. So it was kind of ship out the tapes, and of course, there are only 10 of them, but 10 games, and hopefully people saw them and moved around, the word of mouth, and the coaches there. But yeah, I got recruited by a few schools around here and there. Rice offered me a scholarship, University of Houston, Texas Tech, TCU. Had some interest from Oklahoma and LSU. The Naval Academy, I had an appointment to the Naval Academy to play football. And Texas, which had always been my dream school to go to. They were the national champions. Dale Royal had signed a book for me when I was in the 7th grade. He said, "Hope to see you at UT someday." So I was hooked. So I had orange carpet and orange curtains in my room. There was no doubt. So when Texas came along and offered me a scholarship to the university, there was no doubt that was an easy choice for me. And I wanted a good education, wanted to get an engineering degree or something, and so it was a perfect mix. And my cousin had been an All-American quarterback 10 years before. My mom had gone to Texas, so it was the only conflict was my dad was an Aggie, so there was always that little joke on Thanksgiving Day. But it was a funny thing. So anyway.
I love that. And talk to me about your UT career, because you were there, like you alluded to, at a very exciting time.
Yes, we were very successful. My freshman year won national championship, beat Notre Dame in Cotton Bowl. The next year won national championship. Had some great experiences there. I probably spent more time in the training room and in the whirlpool with All-Americans than anywhere else. I was blew my knee out, had three knee operations and shoulder surgery and cracked my sternum, and I was a walking cadaver there for a while in there. So that kind of ended my career after 3 years. But the memories and the teammates and the camaraderie and just experience was lasted a lifetime, and I think I used it quite a bit. Not only in my coaching career, but I think it motivated me. It was I still had that taste in my mouth that I wanted to be great, and I wanted my teams to be great, like we had at Texas, and then to have Coach Darrell Royal as a mentor and as an example of a head coach was very beneficial to me.
I bet. And talk about how. I guess how and when coaching entered your mind as something, hey, I'd like to do that.
That's a funny story because I had no desire at all to be a coach. coming out of high school. And what happened was, and what started me, and this is a funny situation, Brazos Wood High School, which I'm sitting in right now, they opened the school the spring. They had their first spring training the spring of my senior year before I went to University of Texas. And Coach L.Z. Bryan, state champion coach, the godfather of Brazoswood football, he wasn't able to get all of his staff in for spring training. So he came up to me one day and he says, "What are you doing in the month of May?" And I said, "Coach, nothing. I'm kind of working out, getting ready to go to University of Texas." He says, "I want you to come by and I want you to coach my offense and defensive line during spring training because we don't have enough coaches." So I showed up the first day and he handed me a whistle and a cap and he said, "Go coach." And I said, "What do you want me to do?" He said, "I want you to coach." He said, "Remember two things." I'll never forget these words. He said, "There are two type coaches. Those you have to say woe to and those you have to say giddy up." He said, "Never be a giddy up coach. Go after it." And I started coaching, and we did that for 3 weeks, and I loved it. It was unbelievable. I blew my whistle and yelled and screamed and all that, and kids responded. And then that summer, I coached summer baseball, and I came back in the summer and opened the weight rooms for them and did all that, and did it the next year. And I worked out. The kids worked out with me, so conditioning-wise, we did all that. And I just fell in love with it. I'd come down on Fridays and when Texas was out of town, and I'd sit up in the press box and work in the press box for him. And so that's how I got started. That was it. That's when I got hit with the bug type stuff. My mother wanted me to go be a lawyer and engineer, and she used to say, "How in the world can you put your future on the lives of 16, 17, 18-year-old kids?" And I said, "I don't know, but I'm sure going to do it." So it was a calling. I believe it's a calling from God to be able to make an impact on kids' lives rather than just make an impression from the outside.
I love that. And let's go stop by stop, all the positions you held after you started coaching.
Okay. Started at Angleton High School. There Dan Gandy, one of the great coaches I ever worked for, was fun to be with. I was the JV coach for a couple of years and moved up to the varsity, coached offensive line, linebackers, and defensive coordinator. Coach Gandy taught me a lot about football. The main thing he taught me was that the game is called a football game. Games are supposed to be fun. Find a way to make the kids have fun playing the game. It's a tough game. It's a demanding game. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, but they got a lot of things they can do besides play the game of football. Find a way to make it fun. And Dan Gandy was an expert at doing that. To this day, I praise his name because I learned that. I learned it's more than just rough, tough, talk tough, that kind of stuff. You got to put your arm around them. You got to love on them. You got to care for them, and they will run through brick walls once they know you care for them. So that was my first stop there at Angleton. Again, we had success with the state semifinals my first year. I said, "This coaching stuff's easy." And then talent level dropped a little bit, and so did the wins. But we were successful. Dan did a great job at Angleton. Then I had an opportunity to go to Victoria High School as the defense coordinator and assistant head coach. I coached running backs. I coached offensive line, coached defensive line, coached linebackers, coached everything. I was an assistant there for 4 years. I was at Victoria 12 total years. The last 8 years, I was fortunate enough to be promoted to being the head coach and campus athletic director. And started out, we're 7-3 the first year. Had some success. Finished like the third in district, but again, they only took 2 teams to district back then. The next couple of years were tough. We were 0-10 actually. My greatest accomplishment was somehow surviving as a head coach, going 0-10, but we survived 0-10. 2 years later, we were 10-0, winning the first district championship in the school's history. We had success the next couple of years also, going 8-2, 7-3, and then in 1989, had a great bunch of kids. Should have finished 5-5. We finished 10-1. And won the district championship, undefeated in district again. So Victoria was a great experience, great town, great people, great administration, had a great principal, and so on. So that was that stop. That opened the door to a place called Lamarck, Texas, which was closer to home, closer to the beach. I was familiar with that. So it opened up, and I went down there, not really knowing if I wanted the job or not. The funny thing about that is I also interviewed for the Brazosport ISD athletic director's job. In fact, I interviewed on the same day. Wow. And I told them, whichever calls me first, that's the job I'm going to take. Lamar called me first. It was what I call the perfect storm. It was a community that football meant a lot to. It was an administration that understood how important football was. The staff understood it. The community had high expectations, and it was a whatever it takes, we're going to get it done. And then the kids, they responded to our program. Like I said, once they found out how much we love them and care for them and had a plan that was going to be successful, and it was successful, then the sky was the limit, and we went for it.
Nice. And explain to people how the success you had there, because you had some great games, some great teams. When all things are equal between coaches and players and situations, what is the big difference in a winning program and a losing program? Well, I tell you, I think a big factor is the information you have available as a coach. And our sponsor, Optimum Grading, can do so much to help you have that information. They provide a comprehensive, fully customizable web application designed from a coach's perspective to analyze the players based on what the coach is teaching. By default, players are evaluated from their alignment, assignment, technique, effort, and production result. And through reports, a coach can understand where the player is exceeding and where he is struggling. But as I talked with the founder, what I discovered was what makes this system different than any other tracking system is that it is so customizable. You can decide what's important to you, and you only have to track those factors that you find important. This powerful platform integrates play data with the coach's input on every single play and ultimately allows the coach to run detailed reports to uncover how the players are performing overall and in situational football. It's really good stuff. Check it out, OptimumGrading.com. I tell you, this is a tool that will separate winners from losers. Explain to people how the success you had there, because you had some great games, some great teams.
Well, first of all, I had great coaches, and those coaches have gone on to do great things. That was it. I had a great staff. A lot of them played for me at Victoria High School and at Angleton, so they knew me. A lot of them jumped into the program feet first and understood what we did. We were very fortunate that we could go see places. We went to Judson High School, which was the powerhouse in the state in the early 90s, and D.W. Rutledge, who's one of my closest friends, and I credit him with 99% of all of our success at Lamar because he opened up his program to us. We found a common bond between the two staffs and between the programs. And what actually we became was we were Judson High School Lamar campus. And in fact, our superintendent said, what kind of a program do you want to be like? And I said, I want to be like Judson. And Mr. Arnold, the superintendent, the wisest man superintendent ever known, said that we will be just like Judson. And we patterned our program after DW's program. And kids bought in, community bought in, administration bought in, and the rest is 108 wins later, or whatever it was, in 3 state championships, 5 appearances, and the winningest went more wins in the state of Texas than any other high school team in the 90s.
That's awesome. So take us from there. What happened next?
Well, after that, I was very fortunate and had an opportunity to get a call from R.C. Slocum at A&M, and they had an opening at linebacker. That was, the old Longhorn. My daddy would have been really pleased if he had still been alive, because what started as a Longhorn became an Aggie. So I never pull against Texas and always pull for A&M. So that's my view. I love them both, that stuff. So, but Orange Blood and Green Money turned maroon, and for the next 5 years, I was fortunate enough to coach at Texas A&M at RC, coach a guy named Pat Wynn, a world championship, played in the Sugar Bowl, played in bowl games, coached a freshman All-American named Brian Gamble. I got to coach some great kids, and just a great experience, and a great university, a good conservative university that had a lot of the core values that I believed in, and it was a really good experience, and one which I still enjoy. I still go to all the football games at A&M, and I got season baseball tickets too, and do a lot up there because they took care of me when I was there, and they're taking care of me now. They really they appreciate what I did, and I appreciate their loyalty to me. So it's been a a good situation. From there, I came back to Bradswood for 1 year just to retire from high school, and then I started drawing teacher retirement, and that's where Art Riles called me when he was at Houston. Art and I have been friends and competitors forever, and very close, very common ground as far as knowing each other. And he needed a defense coordinator, somebody who ran the defense that we ran at A&M. So I was his man, and for the next 3 years, we won a conference championship. We led the conference in defense, and we had a great time. Art's one of the greatest people, greatest persons, individuals I've ever met and worked with in my life. Great guy, cares for kids, an offensive genius. So we really, my defense and his offense, we meshed together. We were really good teams, and we're still extremely close friends. So from there, it was a retirement till I got a call from Bradswood High School in the summer of 2010, and they had just lost their offensive line coach, and Coach Doelle, who had coached with me at Lamarck and played for me at Victoria, said, "Where can I find one?" I said, "I ain't doing nothing this year." So I volunteered and became the offensive line coach, and we decided to go to the spread offense. So I knew Chad Morris was at Clemson, so got a hold of him. We all went out to Clemson and learned that offense, and I had fun installing the offense. So this whole defensive guy is installing the passing game at Bradswood High School. And then did that for 5 years. Took a few years off, traveled, saw the world, enjoyed going to football games as a fan. And then hometown Bradswoodport ISD calls again. They're going to reestablish the athletic director position, and there's Alan Weddell. He's not doing anything, so I say, sure, why not? Why not? So got to do that back home, give back to the community that means so much to me, and where I started out and where everything was, I wouldn't be if it wasn't for the school district here and Danny Massey and all the people that have been good to me over the years. So I was athletic director for 3.5 years, retired again, got to hire new head coach at Bradswood High School, Doelle. And then the funny story starts all over again. Kind of reminds me of LSG Bryant telling me the first day. And that Coach Carey comes up, he says, "I can't get my offensive line coach released from Hondo, Texas. What am I going to do about an offensive line coach?" And I said, "Coach Carey, I've coached offensive line before." So I got to coach a little offensive line, and then the coach came down, and I'm about to sell my house and move to College Station or see what I do. And he comes up and he said, "My linebackers coach just left. I don't have anybody coaching linebackers this year. What are we going to do?" And he said, "I don't know what I'm going to do. I got 10 coaches that are under 30 years old." And I said, "Well, I'm 71 years old, but I'll still relate to them." I said, "I'll be happy to coach linebackers for you." So this past year and again this next year, I'm going to be coaching linebackers at Bradswood High School, my hometown school, where I guess I started volunteering and doing that and coaching linebackers, mentoring young coaches, and just helping out Coach Carey and the defensive coaches any way I can. So that's where we stand up at school this morning, 5:45, getting those kids getting ready bigger, stronger, and faster. So that's what my days are.
I love that.
That's a lifetime story for the last 55 years, Alan Weddell, right there.
I love the fact that you've retired more than anybody I know, but since you're a utility player,
yes,
yeah, like I said,
yes, I can tell you about retirement. I've done it. They keep calling me back.
Apparently, you're not very good at it because you don't stick with it very long.
I must not. But I got some great linebackers. We have so much fun, and I'm just having a great school district. And like I said, got some great young coaches, some of which are so they're so young. I coach them in high school even still. So, they call me Grandpa around here because I'm old enough to be any of them Grandpa plus, and that's including the coaches. Okay, so yeah.
Right. So talk about the importance of this game, because that's one of our themes here is what a big impact this game has on young men.
Well, the world has changed some, everybody gets a prize, everybody, the equality, everybody's got to be the same, that kind of stuff. The word competition has gone out of it, the fact of the real world is everybody's not going to win. It's going to be how do you adjust, and how do you react when you're not winning type stuff? How do you fight back? How do you work with other people? The camaraderie in a dressing room, the camaraderie on the team. It's a team sport. When one person jumps offside, the entire team is punished. That person needs to be accountability. Accountability is a word that people don't use enough nowadays. So it's still the fundamental rock of a mirror picture of life, and it teaches kids how to relate to life and teaches them values. Now, in 1969, 1973, when I started coaching to every spot, football is a team sport that teaches the values of life, the competitiveness of life, and gives you a mirror picture of what the game of life is always about. And if you want to be a champion, you learn how to be a champion on the football field. And you take that, what you learn on the field, and you take it to the game of life. There are no excuses. The scoreboard doesn't lie. The big eye in the sky, the films don't lie. You either did your job or you didn't, and you're accountable for it. You're accountable to yourself. You're accountable to the team. You're accountable to the community. And you got to work hard. How are you going to react to that? Are you going to shy down and quit, or are you going to fight back and get better? And that's what we try to teach our kids.
I love that. So is it that collection of universal principles that allows you to relate to these kids, or is there some secret sauce that I should know about how to deal with a 16-year-old?
Good luck. I think I'll go back to my second week I was ever head coach, 1982, at Victoria High School. Jackie Sherrill had just gotten hired at A&M, and he was down in Victoria. And the Aggie Club down there took me to the luncheon, and I was introduced to Jackie Sherrill. And I said, Coach Sherrill, it's great to meet you. He didn't know me from Adam. And he was just coming off a national championship at Pittsburgh. And so I said, Coach Sherrill, I'm Alan Weddell. I'm the brand new head coach at Victoria High School. I'm 30 years old. It's my first head coaching job. Do you have any advice that you can give me? And he said these words, and I remember to this day. He says, put the kids first, and the program will take care of itself. And I live by those words right there. And I'm a true believer that, they don't care. And taking this to Lamarck, where you got social economic differences, compared to where I've been, where people come from and a lot, they don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And those two statements right there, what I believe in. Fundamentals, yes. Discipline, yes. Sacrifice, yes. But the caring part is the most important. That's the first thing you got to start with. You got to sell the kids that you love them and care for them, and you have to be genuine about it. You really do.
I love that. So, are you going to keep retiring and getting new jobs, or do you have other plans?
We'll see what God has to say. Okay, we'll see what God has to say. It's going to be His plan. I've got at least one more year. Coach Carey said I could come back, so I'm glad of that. I'm very proud that the last. Reswood had been out of the playoffs for 10 straight years. I was on the staff the last time we got on it, and I'm on the staff now. So I'm pretty proud about that fact right there. So I'm having fun.
That sounds
as long as I can feel like I can make an impact on the lives of kids rather than just an impression, then it's worth getting up every morning and doing as much as I can.
Right on. Coach Alan Weddell, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me, sharing a little bit of a really cool story.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Did you play Texas high school football? If you did, you're part of an elite group, the Brotherhood of Texas High School Football. All football players, past and present, who have ever suited up in the Lone Star State are eligible. Go to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood. And thank you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.
Until next time, I'm Chris Daly, and we'll see you at the game.